Have you ever done the old experiment where you mix oil and water? One of the things that you'll notice is that when you put them in, let's say, a beaker or a jar, that no matter how much you shake them up to try to mix them, eventually, when you just kind of leave it be, they'll separate. Some other folks, scientists or people just playing around, have noticed that if you put different liquids of different densities in this jar, you can almost pile them up and see all of the layers because of the different densities. You know, when I look at something like that, I often think about this separation of opposites, things that when you put together, they just don't mix. We can use that as an illustration in our spiritual lives, and we actually do see this in 1 John 4:18. 1 John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." Do you see the separation there? Fear, which sometimes we justify and even defend, it does not mix with perfect love. And perfect love is the love that comes straight from Christ. You see, Christ felt pain on the cross, and we do see in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was really agonizing and struggling with this decision that he was making about leading himself to sacrifice. But one of the things that we do not see was this idea of fear. Christ knew what was going to happen. He knew that God was who he says he is. He knew that the power of the Spirit was much more powerful than the hate that was thrown at him. And sometimes when we are in this world, when we're talking amongst people, when we're living amongst people, when we're working amongst people, we can allow fear to guide us instead of love. Sometimes fear doesn't look like I'm afraid and I need to hide, but sometimes fear translates into hate for that which is unknown. We don't trust God when we just fear so much that we don't allow God to whisper his joy and his peace into our lives. What we're doing instead is relying on our own understanding, which, the Bible clearly says not to lean on our own understanding, but in all of our ways acknowledge him, and he will make our path straight. So what happens when we start to really lean into everything that we can perceive? Well, we actually become bitter because we don't understand why God isn't doing things the way that we think he should be doing them. And that leaks into every single thing into our in our lives. So today, as you are approaching this day, maybe you have your coffee in hand, and I just finished my iced coffee here. Maybe start to orient your life and your day towards trust and love instead of automatic fear. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me. You have a lot of things on your plate today, don't you? But God wants us to start orienting our minds and our lives in that direction. What would that look like? Just one step. What would it look like to get 1% better every day as well? We say that in the business world sometimes. What would it look like to get 1% better? Maybe in this area, there are some things that you need to tweak, some things that you need to take out of your life, some things that are causing you anxiety, and things that are just fueling that negative self-talk that you have on a regular basis. Whatever the case, trust God. He loves you, and perfect love drives out all fear. They can't mix. Have a good day.